Yeah, I wish we could have seen it against Aaron Rodgers. Um, I think the outcome would have been the exact same, but it is what it is. So we'll take it any way we can get it, no matter who's the quarterback. But I do think even if Aaron Rodgers were playing, we would have given the same outcome. So we'll go through
Yeah.
some stats. Cowboys dominated. Dak Prescott, very efficient. The Texas Coast offense, 31 of 38, 205 yards, touchdowns. Ran the ball for 134 yards. Didn't have any rushing touchdowns. Pollard carried the ball well, 72 yards. What'd you think of a lot of Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn? What'd you think? Dowdle looked pretty close to 7 carries, 26 yards.
I liked both of them, man. I like the way that's one of the things I noticed. I wanted to see if we get back to running the football, ran the football well. Uh, Obviously, there's nothing new there. Running always sets up the pass. I think when we run the football well, we're tough to beat when we can move the ball like that on the ground, and especially with the things that Dak can do with the ball in his hands, it just makes him that much more dangerous. And man, the defense just playing lights out today. All of it a complete game. I loved it, and we got us a kicker again, man.
He looked a lot
Aubrey.
better this week than he did last week. That's for sure. Kicked a lot more confidence. It had what was a 55 yarder that he booted in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're listening to the Gridiron Grind live Dallas Cowboys post game show, and live post game show, Gridiron Grind YouTube sports channel, and tune in, get your questions rolling in. We got a few questions coming in, but get in the chat, hit us up with some questions. We'll get to them as we just keep going through this. Okay.
Have kids, they said.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be
Anyway,
fun, they said.
Deuce Vaughn got in 3 carries, 16 yards.
Yeah. I like
Lamb,
the way they're
Lamb,
using him.
CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, 11 catches for 143 yards.
Yeah, getting him the ball, I thought that was good. I love the route trees. I loved everything about it. Like I said, I think it all starts from the running game, getting getting Dak to where in favorable matchups with some of our weapons, and the tight end showed back up today, which I thought was the one thing that was missing from our dominating win week 1 against the Giants.
Yeah, he looked really good. Carried that over to the Jets. Defense again, not as many sacks this week, but had 3 sacks. Parsons was dominant. Parsons had 2 sacks. Osa Odigizua, he had a sack. Packers lost 5 tackles for loss, but Zach Wilson didn't have much stuff. In fact, we kind of saw that after the Jets week 1 game, and this was going to be another good thing.
Yeah, man, like you said, we didn't have a lot of sacks. I think the game plan was try to get the ball out quick, and of course, Zach Wilson. Man, like if you're a Jets fan, you just go like it's done, like your season's done. You have this elite defense, but the quarterback you've got just is not the guy. And all the hype, all the air went out of the stadium, and I think all the air went out of the team. And this, like I said, I thought they had the best game plan they could given the circumstances with Zach Wilson at quarterback, trying to get the ball out quick. But man, he just kind of showed why they went out and got Aaron Rodgers and why they'll probably take a quarterback next year. Um, I would if I was them go get maybe Caleb Williams, see what you could do. Get him maybe Drake May, somebody like that, Bo Nix, somebody. You got to go get somebody because Zach Wilson ain't it, and Aaron Rodgers might be done.
He might be. He said he put out something like he might be back for the playoffs. We'll see if the Jets get in. I mean, Zach
Yeah,
Wilson had a few good, but they're in the second half. I mean, the Cowboys dominated the second half. Didn't even allow any points. Shut them out in the second half. Outscored them. I mean, didn't really need to do much. But only scored 12 points ourselves in the second half. We held the Jets to no points in the second half. But we did get to see a lot more of the offense in the Texas West Coast. What was your thoughts, Jimmy, on that? Dak, it was very efficient football came out of him. Didn't take a lot of chances. He did almost throw one interception, but no turnovers from Dak. Second game in a row. Very efficient in the passing game. What do you think of the Mike McCarthy Texas Coast offense?
I like it. I like, I think we're still a little bit predictable on some stuff, like second and long. We're probably going to run the football 9 out of 10 times, but I love the way it sets up. The run sets up the pass. It lets Dak, like I said, it creates a more favorable situations for Dak to where he's able to get the ball and not necessarily have to make quick reads and stuff like that. Go through his progressions. I liked what I saw. Like I said, starts with the running game and up front and trying to keep the O line healthy. Golly, but yeah, I liked what I saw. I like it, just game management.
Yeah, Zach Martin injury update at the end of the game. That wasn't didn't like hearing that. We could potentially be down 3 guards heading in
Yeah,
to next week's game against Arizona, but it is Arizona, so we'll monitor that. Hopefully, Tyler Smith can get back and he can make his 2023 debut next season. But yeah, got to stay healthy. But I like it too. I like the brand of football. I think I was talking about this in the game. If we would have played this brand of football against the 49ers in the playoffs, I think we win that game. So this is very, let your defense shine, control the ball, and score points on every drive, and then don't turn the football over and let your defense dominate. We have a dominant defense. Don't put them in bad situations. Let them take over, and that's what we've done 2 weeks in a row. We've just played great complementary football, ball control, scored points, and got out to a lead, and then let our pass rushers just go to work. I think it's a recipe for success.
yeah, I do too. Especially like I said, I love our depth on the D line. I love that we can run guys in. We've got, then the second string guys that we bring in, the Fowlers. Those guys. Dante Fowler can get after it. He gets after the quarterback. I just love the way that Quinn uses Parsons, moves him around. Vander Esch is playing great. Odigizua. I mean, everybody. I love our defensive line. I love our defense as a whole, but the line especially. The defensive line makes everyone behind them better.
Great. All right. Let's start getting to some of these questions. Hit us up on the chat live on YouTube on our Gridiron Grind YouTube page and start getting in your questions on the chat feature. Jimmy, we've had 3 questions so far regarding our red zone offense. Ken up in Philadelphia, red zone needs to get better. Gabe Terrell down in Dallas talking about, offense struggled in the red zone. My brother Madison, yes, against good teams, we need to turn these field goals into touchdowns. What are our thoughts, Jimmy? What was your take on a red zone offense today? We did kick a lot of field goals, but some of those we are going to need to turn into touchdowns at the games. But what are your thoughts on this offense in the red zone through 2 games?
Yeah, I agree. I think the lesser of two evils is to come away with the points. But when you get in the red zone, if you look up the teams that are successful in the red zone, converting those to touchdowns, there's some, time in and time out, they're some of the most successful teams each season. And I think if Aaron Rodgers had played today, we would have needed to turn one or two of those into a touchdown instead of a field goal to win the game. But wasn't the case. And I uh, I I tend to agree. I think we need to figure out a way to convert in the red zone and not just settle for a field goal. And of course, it's easier said than done, right? The defense is condensed when they get into the red zone. Not as much room to spread them out and do things. But there's a lot of teams that have success in the red zone. We typically have had it in the past as well. So it's just about finding the rhythm and getting the right plays out there to put us in the position to score.
Yeah, I agree. Like twice, it was like from like the 9 or 10. and we didn't really press the issue. Just kind of dumped it down, basically like, hey, we're not even going to try to score a touchdown. We don't want to make a mistake, and we'll just take the field goal. Which was in those situations was perfectly fine because the game we were already up 3 possessions. Uh, but maybe we're dialing something up, be a little bit more aggressive in later weeks. Um, so we'll see. Red zone could be an issue. We got a question. Stuart Murray, saw him over the weekend, getting ready for the big wedding in April. He lives down in Lagrange now. He's talking about Michael Gallup. Fantasy question. He's got Gallup as his third wide receiver flex in his fantasy. Off to a slow first start for Michael Gallup the first 2 games. What do you think about Michael Gallup? You think his role is going to expand? Like I said, CeeDee Lamb had 11 catches today for 143 yards. It was obvious that was the game plan to get CD the ball. But what do you think about Michael Gallup? Is his role going to increase in the near future here of the Cowboys?
Oh man, that's tough to say because you've got Cooks who will be back, and Cooks is a multiple 1,000-yard receiver on multiple teams. So you've got to find a way to get Brandon Cooks the ball. And CD, like I said, he's supposed to be our number 1 guy, so obviously he's going to get some looks. And I think it's going to be situational. I think from a fantasy and from a non-fantasy perspective, Michael Gallup, his production on the field is really going to depend on the matchup. And if guys like Lamb and Cooks, and don't forget the tight ends too, if they start really cooking, that's going to take away from Michael Gallup. So I think for Gallup to really see his numbers rise, we're going to have to, hate to say it, but you're going to have bad games from, I think, the other people, and, have just one of those games where just Gallup's beating his guy off the line. And then, of course, you never know when you got injuries, you're coming back from injury. Like we saw Felix Jones get hurts his ankle. Then all of a sudden, he used to break runs to the house. Now all of a sudden it's a shoestring tackle, or he's just about a half step slow. So I don't know if the injury has something to do with it, if maybe Gallup's lost a step or something. But like I say, it's hard to go to him when the other guys are having so much success.
Yeah, and then good point in the chat. You forget about Brandon Cooks didn't play this game, so when he comes back, Gallup will even be behind Cooks. So I don't know how much, especially. But eventually defense will adjust. They're going to take away CD, and he won't have 11 catches every game. So another few comments in the comment section before we wind it down here on the Gridiron Grind Dallas Cowboys live post-game show. My sister Jessica Leonardo up in Providence, Rhode Island, again talking about the red zone. So it seems everybody last week, people were concerned about the kicking game and the tight end play. This week, everybody's concerned about red zone offense. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. Not much of a test next week as Cowboys play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals might be the worst team in the league. But last week, the concerns people had about the tight ends performed 2 tight end touchdowns. I thought the tight ends looked a lot better this week, Jimmy.
I did too, man. We saw Schoonmaker get out there and get involved. Another one of our second-round tight ends. Like you said, 2 touchdown catches by the tight end. They ran the tight end screen. Ferguson looked a lot better. They tried to get Hendershot on that tight end kind of jet sweep at the tight end there at the goal line, tried to get him involved. So I think it was a point of emphasis as well to get them more involved, because we have playmakers at the tight end position and have for the last several years. And so, I was hoping it was only a matter of time before they'd get back into it, and looks like that was the case. And so I was glad to see him perform today.
Yeah, me too. That's going to be a big key moving forward with those guys. Ferguson and Schumacher can really step it up, replace Dalton Schultz. That'll be a big deal for Dak Prescott moving forward. One more question before we end the post-game show here. Like I said, we're going to do this after every Cowboys game. We're going to try to keep it 10 to 15 minutes every episode. So get your questions in. It's saved to our YouTube channel, so you can always go back and watch it if you're not watching us live. Stuart Murray comes back with another note talking about the Arkansas game. I know you probably don't want to talk about this, Jimmy. Cam Little had a couple of key missed field goals against BYU yesterday. John Daly hitting barefoot field goals. Is Arkansas thinking about getting Big John in there? Does his son go to Arkansas, play golf at Arkansas?
Yeah, he plays golf. Yeah.
Could he kick some field goals for the Razorbacks?
I I think Cam Little's very good field goal kicker, but I think, if I'm a coach, you saw the Cowboys go get Trey Lance. Well, we think the quarterback position is pretty well sewn up in Dallas, but any chance you've got to improve your team, you do it. So I think anything goes, man. If John Daly, his son, someone can come out there and help the Razorbacks win, I don't see why Sam Pittman wouldn't consider it. So yeah, I think anything's possible.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for our post-game show. Great ending on a college football question. Be sure and tune in on Wednesday. It releases Wednesdays at noon on our YouTube channel, Gridiron Grind. And also, it releases on Apple Podcasts. Search for us, Gridiron Grind, College Football Pod. Again, the College Football Pod comes out on Wednesdays. Usually drops around noon, sometimes a little later. Then on Thursday, we'll be back talking with our Dallas Cowboys and NFL Pod. We'll preview the first couple weeks of the NFL season, kind of look ahead. We'll probably talk a little bit more NFL this week because, again, Cowboys, not much to talk about when you're dominating. You've outscored your two opponents 70-10. So this week we'll probably dive more into the whole NFL, like the Bengals starting off 0-2. That's a shocker. I had them as my Super Bowl winner. Don't feel confident there. So NFL Cowboys Pod is next Thursday. Also, be sure and you're tuning into the GridironGrindSports.com. Coffee with Creta rolling out blogs all week. Of course, videos on Saturday. And then Jimmy's got his Jimmy G's Big Three, best three bets in college football that he releases on Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our socials. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Just search for us, Gridiron Grind Sports. So, Jimmy, 2-0. Cowboys Super Bowl picks still looking good. Take on the Cardinals next week. Final thoughts before signing off.
I love it, man. Defense is playing at a high level. Offense is seemingly picking up their end of the slack. So, stay healthy. Got to spray for the injury bug. I think if we can get that thing squashed, we're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I'm sold on this defense. And if our offense is going to take care of the football, and we're going to score 30, 40 points every game in our defense, I love our chances. Of course, we'll find out in a couple of weeks when we play the 49ers on Sunday night. That's going to be a heck of a game. But hopefully we're 4-0 going to that game, and I think we will be. So, anyway, thanks for joining us on the Gridiron Grind Live Dallas Cowboys post-game show. We'll be here next week, next Sunday after the game. And again, check us out, all of our podcasts and articles and picks that we got going on at GridironGrindSports.com. Thanks for joining us. Jimmy, we'll see you. Have a good one, bub.